Hi, everybody. Let me start by saying the obvious. These aren't normal times. As we all manage our way through a pandemic unlike anything we've seen in a century, Michelle and I hope that you and your families are safe and well. But if there's one thing we've learned as a country from moments of great crisis, it's that the spirit of looking out for one another can't be restricted to our homes or our workplaces or our neighborhoods or our houses of worship. It also has to be reflected in our national government. The kind of leadership that's guided by knowledge and experience.
When it all started in Lujan province, and what happened, we did not insist that they go into the areas we wanted to. So I just, that's all I can do is do what I know has to be done, say what I know has to be done.
They'd insisted, and this broke the meeting up basically in terms of influence, that this be called the Lujan virus.
Honesty and humility.
Muzzling the scientist. Look, Fauci's been here anyway, all the way back to the Bush administration.
Very dishonest question, but that's okay.
Dishonest. I want to clarify, Mr. President. I want to clarify.
So let me clarify it. I have never been muzzled, ever, and I've been doing this since the administration of Ronald Reagan.
Empathy and grace. That kind of leadership doesn't just belong in our state capitals and mayor's offices. It belongs in the White House. And that's why I'm so proud to endorse Joe Biden for President of the United States. Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made, and he became a close friend. And I believe Joe has all the qualities we need in a president right now.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
He's someone whose own life has taught him how to persevere, how to bounce back when you've been knocked down. Through all his trials, he's never once forgotten the values or the moral fiber that his parents passed on to him and that made him who he is.
How are you? God love you. I know this ain't a one-man sport.
Thank you all for your patience.
Bring the whole family up. Come on. Come on. What are you, a senior?
A junior.
Come on, it's going to hurt your reputation, man. You're going to have to go home and explain. What would I do with that Democrat? Kids, come on over here, okay? You ready?
Thank you so much.
Now, you getting in this picture?
Do I still hold five?
Right over here. There you go. You can put your weight. Come on.
Right here.
Okay, so tell me about you. I want you next to me.
How you
I want you
doing?
next to me. Oh, yeah, sister, you come over this side. Other sister. Come on over this side. Okay? Come on, sis. You get right in the middle with me. You go right over here. Over this way. Mom, you get right in the middle. Come on, Dad. Okay, here you go. Too many beautiful girls in this room. You got one job. My father used to say, for real, keep the boys away from your sister. That's the job. Just remember, no serious guys in your 30s. Is this your sister? You have a hard job. You got to keep the boys away from your sister. That's the deal. Hey, Jasper, you're going to have a hard job keeping the boys away from your sister. Like you had a beautiful sister, you keep the boys away from your sister. That's the job. My dad used to say, one job, keep the guys away from your sister. My dad used to say, you got one job. I have a beautiful sister like you guys. I swear to God, he used to say, you have one job, keep the guys away from your sister. You're in trouble.
Joe has the character and the experience to guide us through one of our darkest times and heal us through a long recovery. Now, Joe will be a better candidate for having run the gauntlet of primaries and caucuses along.
It's a good question. Number one, I was a Democratic caucus.
Alongside one of the most impressive Democratic fields ever.
Buenas noches, gracias de invitarnos.
Gusto en verlo, caballero.
Hold one moment.
Just trust us on this.
We're going to get to everybody, I promise. Candidates, please.
I'm so sorry. We will let all of you speak.
Yeah, so now it's my turn.
I'm going to hold you to 30.
Look, the old way.
Was that directed to me?
Yes, that was your
Thank you.
quote.
That sounded like me.
That's a mischaracterization of my thinking.
It's a
Look,
quote of
we have.
Once they, in fact, they should, anyway, my time's up.
How would you do that? Sorry? How would you do that? How do you respond?
With these children?
Let me get to you in just a second.
I'm sorry.
You're the mayor. You should fire the chief if that's the policy and someone died.
If you think we're going to beat Donald Trump by just having all these plans, you got another thing coming. He's not going to be beaten just by somebody who has plans. It's really nice that we got all these plans, but not just a matter of a plan. John Kennedy did not say, I have a plan to get a man to the moon.
My first act in foreign policy, we're breaking up with Russia and making up with NATO.
One of my first phone calls would be to call the European leaders and say, we're back. My first call is to Prime Minister of New Zealand, who said that her goal is to make New Zealand the place where it's the best place in the world for a child to grow up. And I will tell her girlfriend you were so on.
When I'm not changing diapers, I'm changing Washington. Most of the time, the diapers smell better.
Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a health care system in the United States. We have a sickness care system.
It's time to pass the torch to a new generation of Americans. Here's the solution. Pass the torch. Pass the torch to the generation.
I'm still holding on to that torch.
I could not be prouder of the incredible progress that we made together during my presidency. But if I were running today, I wouldn't run the same race or have the same platform as I did in 2008. The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future. Bernie understands that, and Joe understands that. It's one of the reasons that Joe already has what is the most progressive platform of any major party nominee in history. So join us. Join Joe. Keep believing in the possibilities of a better world, and I will see you on the campaign trail as soon as I can.